Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Site, the Moat into chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw that back at me. Harold is throwing the Salt emote in the chat because I will be talking about how I'm not feeling salty. I'm feeling full of salt. I have been salted. Uh, yeah, but if you're a subscriber, throw the Bear Cave, Lego, the Site, the Moat. Let me know that you're here. Jam is here. What's up, Jam? Happy to have you here. Harold's here. Of course, Harold, thank you for hosting. Appreciate that. Reminder, folks, if you are use your Twitch Prime coin, you got to manually renew that. We did have some subscriptions, and I think some of them were probably the gift subs that were given out last month, and that's cool. And I understand sometimes people are gifted and they were surprised and they're like, oh, that's not something I want to do. I was gifted a sub just this weekend to a channel that I rarely watch, if at all, and I was like, oh. Okay, let me use these emotes. Aristophan is here. Hello, hello. We're waiting for see if a few more folks want to join us before we get to the building portion. Lashbrook is here. What's up, Lashbrook? Lashbrook, I got my kit that was bought with your gift card. Thank you again for picking up that gift card. And it'll be probably the next thing we build. Lord Crashington's here. What's up, Lord Crashington? Happy to have you here. We got a solid crew already. Great folks. Lord Crashington is redeeming the gong. We are starting things off with a bang of a gong. Opening gong, indeed, Lord Crashington. Here we go. Nice, nice, nice. Starting off with the gong. Happy to do it. Happy to have you all here. We are going to build a model kit. We are going to wait a few minutes before I start talking about how I am full of McNuggets. It happened. I'll talk about it now. We'll just start with it. So yesterday, just sitting in my apartment, doing whatevs, watching stuff, hanging out, prepping for a few things here and there, sending some emails. Sunday shit, you know. And I start thinking, when's the last time I had a McNugget? Or a nugget in general. But specifically a McNugget. Because I like those. They're not my favorite nuggets. Those are Wendy's nuggets. I do think are actually the best because I think the breading makes it its own thing. Whereas it's almost like a shell on what do you call it? A McDonald's nugget, but whatever. I want a McNugget. I want a bunch of McNuggets, and I'm thinking that last night. Now I should stress this by saying, it did not occur to me until I was actually ordering my McNuggets today. Spoiler alert, I got McNuggets. That today is 420. Blaze it. Smoke it if you like it. It was cliche and funny to be getting nugs, some tasty nugs, on today. Or just fast food in general, or McNuggets, or anything like that. Ha ha ha. I did not get high. I just wanted McNuggets, and I got them. Now, I'm going to retweet because we're going to start building. We're working on a high-grade kit. It's got a tail. It's a pretty cool-looking kit. We're going to go to that in just a second as I start talking about my McNugget adventure. It's not much of an adventure. So we're building this nice blue friend with a cool tail and a beam saber spear, a double-ended spear with beams at the end of it. The whole thing's not beams, just the blades, which is fun. Okay, so there's a McDonald's not too far from me, but I don't want to go into a McDonald's. I want deliver. So you can do Grubhub or Seamless, they'll deliver, right? So I've said, okay, I'm going to do that. Often the folks that do that, Uber Eats I know as well. Hi, Dude, What's His Rug? Do that as well. I know that generally these are folks that are also, Lyft drivers and Uber drivers and stuff like that. That then they supplement their income by doing these delivery runs. For places that don't have their own delivery people. So I go and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. It costs more. Could I have saved money if I had gone to my McDonald's? Certainly. But I didn't want that. So I'm looking at the deals. Honestly, most McNugget deals you get on Seamless and GitHub, not GitHub, Grubhub. GitHub is a different thing. That's a different kind of McNugget. That doesn't make any sense. The deals you're getting there are for more than one person. There was a price for 20 nugs. There was a price for 40 nugs. There was the meals and all that. But then there are these combos that you don't get in the store. You get on delivery. Combos. Now these combos are 2 Big Macs, 20 nuggets, and 2 fries. And I'm like, no. 2 cheeseburgers, 20 McNuggets, 2 fries. And I was like, no. I wish I could get 1 fry and one thing and not two. Oh, God. They think that someone's going to eat 10 nuggets and someone else is going to eat 10 nuggets. I'm just going to buy 20 McNuggets. I'm going to buy 20 McNuggets. I'm going to tip very well. I'm going to pay all the fees. I'm not going to save money by going to the store. I'm just going to get it, and it's going to be a good idea. It's not a good idea. Eating 20 McNuggets is not a good idea for me, but I want McNuggets, and I'm going to get them, and I got them. I got 21 McNuggets. They gave me 21 McNuggets because I counted. Don't Feed the Chocobo says, hi, Pat, hi, chat. Hello, Don't Feed the Chocobo. I'm regaling my nugget adventure today, my McNugget adventure. So I ordered. Zorb says, I saw your nugs and I wanted some right away. 5x bonus nugs. Yeah. Zorbs, it's been a little bit. Happy to have you here in the chat. Welcome, welcome. And I do apologize to everyone on my Twitter because multiple people were like, I want McNuggets. Shit. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I do apologize for that. But I saw the nuggets on Twitter. That's the life. Yeah. So I got the 20 nuggets, and I was like, look, there are nugget challenges out there, folks. I'm not a speed eater. I actually eat fairly slowly just as I'm doing my thing. I happen to be pretty hungry. I hadn't eaten much today because I knew I was going to be buying a bunch of nuggets. So in about 25, 28 minutes, I ate 21 nuggets with dipping sauce, just at my leisure, going for it, doing my thing. Which does make me think, and this is not, I'm not saying this is a good thought to have as a person, but it does make me think that I could possibly do a nugget challenge. Now, I'm not saying I would do the 100-100 challenge. That's 100 nuggets in 100 minutes. But I can definitely do a 20-20. Zorbs just subscribed. I lost my streak. Laugh out loud. That's 27 months. Thank you so much, Zorbs. We're going to hit the old applause on the soundboard here. Let's throw the Baer Cave Lego Disciple Note in the chat to thank Zorbs for that, which rules. Thank you so much for your continued support. And I understand sometimes breaking that streak is a bummer, but it does mean a lot, and I appreciate you renewing your sub and using your Twitch Prime coin. I do it for the soundboard, right? Heck yeah. That's very nice of you. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I mean, I could do 20-20 in my sleep. I could do 30-30, definitely. When I start getting into 40 and 50 and 60, here's the thing. At a certain point, it stops becoming, oh, I just ate some food. And it starts becoming, I had to smartly eat some food. You start to develop, you have to start developing, at that point, a strategy. And I am not necessarily interested in a strategy. Having a strategy, employing a strategy, that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm not doing this to develop a strategy. To go, sorry, something just got weird with my, there we go. Sorry. I reset some stuff on my dashboard here on Twitch, and it has been annoying. No, that's not what I want to do. Fine, we'll just do it like that. You should get with Abby to do charity nugget challenge. Yeah, I mean, like, so it just comes down to I have to decide, and I will decide eventually. I have to just figure this out, how I want to do this. Like, at a certain point, it does become strategy, and one has to deploy a strategy. Um, I worry about nug challenges. I don't want anyone to get sick, and yet I still think it's possible. Indeed. So, Zorbs, that's the thing, right? Um, you know, it becomes like I ate 21 nuggets with sauce. I had barbecue sauce and I had ranch. Those are the sauces I like with my nuggets. You do you. And you got three sauces. I only need two of them. Have a extra barbecue sauce for whenever. For when you get nuggets and they didn't give you the sauce, and suddenly you got it back up. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so I got to apply a sticker here. And apply like that. Got to apply a sticker here. Not a lot of stickers in this kit, which certainly we had our fill of stickers in the last kit. So the fact that we don't have a ton of them here is nice. But yeah, so you have to start applying a strategy. You have to start thinking strategically about like, okay, well, no sauce, water. Now you're not just constantly drinking water. You got to start thinking about dunking the nuggets in water. And then also having a second water to then consume water. But you don't want to drink too much water because you don't want to fill your belly with water. But you also have to combat the salt intake. Like right now, I am paying for consuming 21 nuggets and having all that salt in my body sloshing around. I am paying for that. But I wasn't paying for it at the time. I didn't feel it at the time. And then as you're going with endurance and length of time, you start having issues where, okay, well, now it's going to start catching up with me. Uh, I've set Nugget Centurion as a goal for my charity stream before, but never got there. Yeah, indeed. It's not something that I want to get to necessarily, but I can do it. But yeah, here's the thing. 45 minutes into a nugget challenge, you're starting to feel those nuggets. Now, the other thing that I have some experience with, I have some limited experience doing some challenges, food challenges. People start doing the 1 minute nugget thing. No, that's not the thing. It doesn't take that long to eat a nugget. I haven't raised the money where I've been willing to do it. Yeah, that's the thing, Harold. Like, it would have to be a pretty substantial amount of money to justify that, right? So if I do a charity stream later in this year, and I am thinking about doing something this year, I don't know what, but I will think about it. At some point, I will probably do another charity stream because it's nice to be able to give back. People have been so generous with me. It's nice to be able to support others. At a certain point, I will do that. And yeah, if the Nugget Challenge was part of it, I would have to really think hard about how I would want to do that challenge. All right, so we're applying some greenish stickers here to the yellow, kind of bland gold here to kind of perk it up a bit. And we'll apply those stickers as we go. We are in the phase where we are dealing with most of our stickers. There'll probably be like a couple stickers we got the beam stickers that go on here, but we're dealing with stickers for the eyes and stickers for the chest here, and that is the primary amount of stickers on this kit. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It just comes down to you start really the 1 minute, like every minute eating a nugget. That's theoretically good pacing, but I think in practice that's not what you want to be doing. What you want to be doing is you want to top load. You really do. You want to go for it, and you don't want to make yourself sick. You don't want to cause injury, but you do want to consume a bunch of it so that as you're slowing down, you can take 2 minutes, 3 minutes to eat a nugget. You can take 5 minutes of just having a sip of water, having a stretch, feeling it. because you got ahead of yourself. You banked up some time by eating 2 or 3 in a minute. Uh, but all of this is obvious, not obviously. All this is theoretical, right? Because I am not saying that this is something that I'm going to be doing, but I'm certainly thinking about it a bit because I nailed it. Now, as I said, I'm paying for it now. I don't feel I don't feel 100%. I don't feel bad. Oh, maybe I do feel bad. I might feel bad, but I don't feel like terrible. I don't feel like I didn't cancel the stream tonight. Uh, never. That's not true. I have canceled because I didn't feel great a bonus gaming stream once. But I have never canceled a building stream for anything other than an emergency at my day job when I had one of those. I canceled for that to go in, or I cut one short once because of that. I had to go in and fix a problem. But I've never uh, canceled a build stream the day of. Uh, but yeah, I mean, look, as I said, I'm not necessarily thinking I'm going to be doing a nugget challenge anytime soon, but it's nice to know that like it's feasible at almost 40. I could do some sort of eating thing. Uh, and yes, it would be for charity. And yes, I would eat on stream. A thing that I have to this point not done in any capacity. I have not done anything beyond drinking water. I have never consumed food on a stream before because it's gross. You know, I think I would change my setup some. I wouldn't have my mic like I have it here. I would probably use my webcam microphone, which obviously audio quality would be worse. But I don't think that this is not going to work for that. So like I'm thinking about here and there. How would I do it? Would I do it? That kind of thing. And like I said, it would be related to charity. It would be a whole thing. I would want people. It would be a bonus stream. I would want people to like come and hang out and watch. Give time for people that want to, nug along. And then also, if I did one of these challenges, I definitely have to go into a McDonald's to get them because, uh, like, I definitely paid more than I would have liked for my meal here to be delivered. It costs more than it would there, um, and all of that. You mean without a machine, it is hard to do the order because you don't really get the deal. But I still think it would be cheaper in the store. All right. So I think from a distance, these stickers look fine. But up close, they do definitely look like I put stickers over a different colored plastic. And I don't love that. But I think from a distance, this would look okay. I also don't think that blue and teal are necessarily, I don't necessarily love this combination of colors. I don't think this looks great. I'm interested to see what it looks like with more of this color, this kind of gold yellow, uh, and seeing the whole thing. And when there's way more blue, maybe I'll like it more. I may have to get McNuggets soon. Yes, and again, my involvement in people like ordering food like that, I'm not sorry, but I am, it's like I do take responsibility for people making choices like that because I recommended it. I am taking responsibility for that. Because yeah, um, I'm not certainly not making anyone do it, but I am definitely putting the thought into people's heads that maybe this is something they want to do. But yeah, I ate 10 nuggets and I was like, I think I want 10 more, and then I did have 10 more, and I am happy I did it. But it was a thing where I was like, do I want to eat these other 10 right now? And that 10 actually turned out to be 11 because there were 21 nuggets because I got a bonus nug, which is nice. Well, that's nice, bit of business getting that bonus nugget. I was like, okay, sure, thank you. All right, so let's build this. So we got some of our last stickers here. We are building the face here, so we gotta like figure this part out. We're on the face portion. 144 scale high grades. They come together smooth, y'all. They build themselves pretty easy. Uh, there are occasionally some tricks here and there, especially with a kit like this, which is so this is from Redive, so it takes a lot of ideas from other things, and it's got kind of a Iron-Blooded Orphans demonic thing going. So it might have some bends in it that are a little unusual, the way the body is built. But for the most part, it's going to be pretty like, click these things together, put this here, we're good to go. Um, which is fine. I don't mind that. We'll ease back in because we will have a master grade to build very soon. Because this will take. I think we'll finish this up probably on Thursday, and then we'll have a master grade to build, and that's a little bit more work. This design is pretty unique. I like it a lot. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think that like I'm not really into the build series, the build and build divers and all that, but I do like how they are remixes of classic designs, and then also like, hey, this is a new kit, but like it features the arms from this thing, or like, hey, what if the Death Scythe was also a spider, and you're like, you made a spider kit that has like the a scythe. Okay, like that's uh yeah, all right. Oh, cool. All right. This is a wing, but it's like green and French for some reason. Okay, sure. Like I don't know. There's something very creative and fun about the series that, despite me not being super invested in it, I am invested in like the designs that come out of it. Um, and this one, yeah, like I said, it's got like its tail is very reminiscent of the Epion, the whip of the Epion and the Tall Geese 3, but it doesn't feel like it's exactly that. But it doesn't feel like the Epion in any other way. And I like that because it's like, hey, remember that one thing we did like once or twice? What if we did that again, but with this kit? I like that. All right, we are putting some eye stickers on here. These eyes are like set apart pretty far, which is kind of neat. Put that on like that. Oh. I forget what year this kit is. I think this is 2019, 2018. 2018. 2018. So, not that old of a kit. But yeah, I mean, like, you find a lot, in my opinion, the last 3 years, I would say 2017 till today, the high grades are where it's at as far as cool kit, cool stickers, not cool stickers. I'm saying I'm building a kit with stickers. I'm putting stickers on right now, so I have stickers on the brain. Cool imaginative kits. Uh, it's been pretty high on there. Totally worth keeping an eye on if you're looking for interesting high grades. I think the last few years they've really outdone themselves. I have a bunch in my Amazon wish list that are all like very modern, which is cool. And it's also fun to like juxtapose that with like in my build list in my backlog, I also have the Easy 8, and that's just a thing that like, oh, I'll build these one day, and just a couple years went by on the stream and I never built one, and it's like, oh yeah, I got to build that, huh? Gotta buy that. Um, I really like the yeah. Oh, Setsum that came out recently, despite not watching any of the builds. Yeah, I mean, like the thing, like I said, I bounced off build pretty fast. So, I haven't seen any of Divers, and I haven't seen Try. I've seen some of Build Fighters. But yeah, it's not my show. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, and it popped my mind. Oh, I did not pre-order any kits today. If you're wondering, there's some premium Bandai kits that went on sale literally half an hour ago. But none of them, none of them struck my fancy. None of them spoke to me. One kind of did, but not really. And then two, I did spend so much money getting those two kits from, the beginning of the month when the last ones went on sale. Uh, they're all out there. They're all real out there designs. Yeah, Lashbrook. I think they're interesting. It's just like I don't know. Like none of them really were like this is something you gotta get. Uh, so I didn't. And I don't feel bad. Like maybe I will change my mind. So there's still time to pre-order things. But right now is like I kind of want to focus on like if I already have two kits that I'm just like waiting months for, I'd kind of rather focus my funds, professional and personal, on stuff that I can like get and build. Like if I was in a position where I didn't have that much, like I didn't have a lot of old stuff that I haven't gotten around to or whatever, like yeah maybe, but I've got so much right now to work on that I don't need to worry about that. I ended up getting the Kirai because of design. DNA shares. Okay, yeah. I kind of want to get same thing. This is don't feed the chocobo. Uh, but shipping is probably suspended in my country anyway. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, who knows how any of this is gonna go? That's the other thing. Like, the idea of having like two kits where I don't know when I'm actually going to get them is one thing, especially with Japan like really starting to do shelter in place only this month and just hitting it. Like we're going to talk about, uh, you know, it's going to be this odd thing where I'm going to start talking about anime shows that I've been watching and then be like, and it's not happening. Like, Food Wars is on delay. Actually, I have the list. I'll bring up the list. So, Crunchyroll has put together a list. So all these shows are either suspending production or they suspended production before they debuted. So they actually didn't debut. Um, most of them just suspended a few. Like Sword Art Online, Part 2 was supposed to come out. She's like, no. ReZero, season 2, was supposed to come out. No. Idolish, second beat, I think suspended. I think it was coming out. A Pair Ranman put out 2 episodes on break. Food Wars put out fifth plate, put out 2 episodes on break. No Guns Life. I don't know for sure if it put out any episodes or of the second season, or if it just suspended. Uh, My teen romantic comedy Snafu Climax, which is the third season of the Hachiman show, which is a romantic comedy question mark. That series is I believe just was delayed. Um, the 12th episode of Hatana Illusion, which is a 12 episode series, that's been delayed. This is a bummer because I like this show a lot. Diary of Our Days in Breakwater. I believe there's an episode tomorrow, and then it goes on hiatus. Don't quote me on that. It might be already on hiatus. The Millionaire Detective that just launched. I think there's only 2 episodes, maybe even one. Pokemon, Digimon Adventures, which just came launched. It's like the retelling of Digimon. One Piece. This is huge. One Piece doesn't take breaks. It just does filler. One Piece takes like weeks off. And the fact that it's going to be indefinite is like ridiculous. There are people alive today that have always been able to watch One Piece. Uh, a certain scientific railgun T, or yeah, which is the new season of Railgun. That is going on hiatus. A3, I believe, was coming back and went on hiatus. There's a bunch. Misfit of Demon King Academy was pushed. That is a kind of a fun comedy show ish thing about the Demon King who basically poses as a young version of himself, or is reborn and goes to school with his descendants, and it is a comedy. That didn't come out. That just got postponed. Um, Card Fighter Vanguard. I think that was just delayed. That was a new season of Card Fighter. Uh, Healing Good Precure, which I believe is a prequel to Precure. I can't remember. And then Boruto, also another ongoing. Um, just indefinitely delayed, like taking a break from Boruto. That show has taken a bit of a break. Um, Funimation and Crunchyroll are suspending their dubs indefinitely. Um, there's a delay on some of them as they try to piece together episodes. But yeah, and then like a bunch of movies are delayed. Shonen Jump was also delayed this week. Yeah, yes, Shonen was delayed. Manga is going to get hit pretty hard. Any mangaka that has an office with employees is probably going to be stuck. I mean, some digital stuff can be done, but then the country just putting out stuff because very, like physical media of that type is just going to be hitting with delays. But a bunch of movies, including the Given movie, which is a bummer. The Fate Stay Night Heavens Feel 3. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0. The Violet Evergarden movie. The latest Detective Conan movie. Both Doraemon movies. Oh, yeah, the Princess Principal. And then, of course, all these conventions were, including San Diego, which is a huge one. Um, San Diego hadn't been canceled yet. And I know, look, I'm going to say here, I know why shows don't get canceled when they don't get canceled and why they have the wait, because if it is the government body saying, hey, don't do this, then you can apply for insurances, yada, yada, yada. I get that. But it is also important to note that that show hadn't been canceled yet. Just recently was they were like, oh yeah, 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 we're not doing that. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. Um, and to make things crystal clear, uh, I fully support any and all decisions to uh, this isn't just going to be an anime problem. Yes. Oh, of course, Harold. Well, so one thing that I did want to say was that there was the thought that it was a fairly prevalent thought in these industries, was that perhaps perhaps anime was one of the few media industries that wasn't going to be as affected. They were going to be affected, but not as affected, um, because because Japan had been doing its strategy was, if you feel sick, you go to a hospital, you stay home, but we're not doing this thing. People wear masks in public. I mentioned Gal and Dino. Clearly, they filmed some outdoor stuff in episode 3 early this year. They filmed a street scene, and everyone in this market is wearing a mask except like the employees, which is weird, but whatever. But anyone walking around is wearing a mask, which is was still common like last year, but not as much as it is in that episode. So it is like still an interesting thing to see. Uh, but because of the way they were handling it, there was a thought that anime was going to be kind of exempt from a lot of the delays and stay-at-home things that were happening, uh, because people were still going to work and still doing that work. And there were production delays because some shows that have action scenes were, uh, you know, had those action scenes done. The CG action scenes were being done in China. Like there were two delays in Infinite Dendrogram. Infinite Dendrogram saw two different delays because a Chinese animation studio did all their action scenes and weren't doing those action scenes, couldn't do it, so they had delays there as they got a Japanese company to do that work. Um, but now, uh, and then you look at, well, how many of these studios can do work from home in that way? How many of these studios can do, uh, you know, have employees that have computers to do that? The sense that there are a lot of places in Japan, businesses, not just in Japan but around the world, that like don't want you to take your work home because they don't control that work if you're doing it from home. So they don't have it in place, like a good way for you to upload stuff, or you don't have there are people that don't have they have their phones. They don't have high speed internet at home to be able to upload giant video files and project files and all that. So uh, and then the movie stuff. Some of the movie stuff is obviously done. The movie delays are box office related, obviously, right? Like, well, they're not going to get people to go to a movie theater, so they can't put movies out, big anime tentpole movies like, you're not taking your kids to go to the latest Detective Conan movie, which is, that's obviously huge as well. But the show's delays is like, like some shows, they weren't, they have a few done, but some of them are week to week. Uh, they can't film anything new either. Yes, Harold. Well, I'm talking about animated movies, right? Like I was speaking mostly about animated movies that are being delayed because even if the work is done, like the Given movie wrapped up, that's done. That's post processing. That's done. It's just they're not going to put it out in theaters if people aren't going to the theaters. But yeah, as far as live action stuff, so I actually do wonder about that. I wonder if Gallon Dino is going to, because half of that anime is live action. So I wonder if, unlike some anime stuff where they have the storyboards done and they have the voice acting done and or the voice acting is week to week and they're just going through the process of getting it ready and going. Um, if they are if they will have to suspend production on that show, or if, because it has a live action element and they had to film that in advance because it takes longer to edit that stuff together and put it together, maybe they've done a lot of that work. I don't know. All right, we did finish our head. We finished our chest. That's done. I'm going to drink a little water right now because, as I said, I'm just so full of salt. That's good. All right, now we're working on the right arm, and we're going to build our whole right arm and then build the whole left arm. We won't be doing the same pieces the same way, or you know what I mean, like, oh, you do it twice and whatever. I just want you to build the whole arm as is, and that's fine. That's what we want us to do, and that's what we'll do. Um, yeah, it'll be the as far as the anime goes, it's gonna be interesting to see uh, what just never comes out, and then a bunch of stuff hasn't been announced for being delayed that was supposed to come out in uh, July, which is the next season. The summer season starts in July, so like they're going to be behind on a bunch of shows, so that pushes that back. So when does summer start late with all these shows coming in? Um, does some stuff get pushed until the next season? Is there going to be a big overlap where a bunch of shows are wrapping up and a bunch of new shows are coming in because of that? It's going to be a whole thing. People don't know. They're speculating. The whole chain of production might be screwed for the year. Yes, indeed. And that is a pretty regimented. Some things get pushed back a week. They need an extra week. They're whatever. Blah blah blah. They change whatever. They're changing production houses, that kind of thing. Like those things happen, but for the most part, it's a pretty regimented thing. So it's like, you know, uh, look, when I talk about these things, it's being disappointed in if a thing I like to see and experience happens or not. It's not when I talk about this stuff. You all know me enough to know this, but it's good to make it clear. I'm not complaining that, and I'm not saying that they should risk their that animators should risk their lives so that I can see this summer or this fall a new season of Laid Back Camp. I mean, I want to see that, but I'm not saying anyone should risk their lives so that I can see it. And hopefully that is clear. I think it is. Asmo, hi Asmo. You did miss Nugget Talk. The gist of Nugget Talk is I'm full of 21 nuggets, and I am feeling it. I'm feeling the salt, uh, but I'm glad I did it, and I'm happy. I was happy to have all those nuggets. But yeah, I did start. I started with Nugget Talk, so you did miss some of it. But also, I'm happy you're here. Welcome, welcome. Uh, yeah, so when I talk about like the delays and wondering if a show is going to be coming out, uh, I don't know if the next season of I've been kind of anticipating the next season of uh, the Irregular at Magic School because that show it wasn't clear if that was coming back. The movie ended up doing pretty well, which is a good sign, but you know, uh, there was no guarantee we were going to get a second season of the show. So the fact that we are getting a second season, I was like, oh, looking forward to that. I don't know. I don't know how any of it's going to work. I don't know how far. It's obviously a surprise and certainly a shame for shows that are just coming out to have hiatuses. Like I said, uh, I can't remember. Like I'm going to look this up. I actually want to know if Breakwater if we're getting an episode 3 of Breakwater or if it's just going delayed. Uh, Second episode aired last night. After its third episode. Okay, so we're getting the third episode of it tomorrow, and then it will go on hiatus. So I'm happy to see that, but yeah, Food Wars is like just kicking off. That there's a bunch of shows that just came out and had like a couple episodes, and they're like, nah. I mean, I can't imagine being. I mean, like, imagine you grew up and Digimon was your show. That's not my case, but for some people, that's your show. Digimon is your thing, and they're remaking, they're rebooting, they're redoing, like with great graphics and some of the original voice actors in Japan. They're doing Digimon again. Yeah, that's you, Chocobo. They're bringing back Digimon, except it's taking a hiatus immediately. It's just back. You just got a taste. You already are complaining. Uh, you in the broader sense, not you specifically, obviously, that they showed a character too early or whatever, or blah blah blah, or oh this is cool, or oh they're foreshadowing this differently, or whatever. And then they're like, no, we can't. We can't. Oh no, we can't. Like that's gotta feel terrible. Most of the shows that I'm liking this season are new shows. There are a few that are returning that I'm liking. Food Wars, which is going to go on hiatus. I'm liking. I kind of like Ascendance of Bookworm season 2, although I'm getting a little bored with it. I'm loving Love Is War. The new season of Love Is War, I think, is fantastic. So it's like, but a lot of the shows I like need to do well. They need to hit hard and find an audience. I enjoyed the first episode, just didn't connect as much as I hoped. But it was still super cool to a new generation got Digimon again. That show is important to me. Exactly. Yeah. Uh, Like I'm happy, yeah. Like there are new people. There are people who are gonna check out Digimon and are like, oh yeah, okay, um, and that rules. But I don't. Yeah, I don't know. All right. It's a rough time. Like I said, there's a lot of shows that are just and conventions which fuel the industry and fuel word of mouth, and it's how some people are able to promote their shows and engage interest from an audience and build excitement about their product, and that's gone, and who knows. uh, I got into this a little bit, like it was fine conversation, because look, hope I'm wrong, but uh, as a New Yorker, I can tell you that New York is terrible about thinking that we are invincible, because there are a lot of people who are not doing the work they need to do in New York, even though our death toll is so incredibly high. Uh, we're not doing the work we're supposed to be doing. We're not doing the right thing in every case. And also, our our mayor definitely wants to reopen the city. So when I say that New York Comic Con is going to happen, some people are like, there's no way. And to which I reply, of course. Every convention wants to happen because they don't think, like, do I think that it will be attended well from a um, artist perspective, from a business perspective? No. It'll be one of the least attended by professionals. The artist alley will be dead. That's a poor choice of words. I apologize. The artist alley will be empty, but there will be people there. The Javits Center will be full of people. People will go to the Javits Center despite the fact that the Javits Center is a field hospital right now. They will go and they will do it, and they will walk around, and they will be bummed that it is not as full as it has been in the past, and it doesn't feel the same. But they will go to it because people like to pretend things are normal, and they like having their things and doing their things. I have said this, and I do not apologize for it. Our death toll here is as low as it is because the weather is bad, and that is it. It has been unseasonably cold for April in New York City, and that is the only reason that more people haven't succumbed. Uh, that is it. If it was 70 degrees right now instead of 55, if it was 65 degrees instead of 55, uh, people would be in the streets, having block parties. I have a con next month in theory, but me and all the other artists are like, I don't know about this. Yeah, don't. I mean, like, look. Also, anyone, like I said, anyone that pulls out. When people were like, before Emerald City was like, I guess we have to cancel because Emerald City, of course, did not want to fucking cancel because they didn't want to lose money. So of course they didn't want to cancel. When Emerald City, a convention in Seattle, one of the first places where this was happening in America, when people were like, people were mad that artists were pulling out and companies were pulling out and making the tough choices that, you know what, fuck this. There were people who were like, but I want to see you, but I want to buy your stuff, but you're one of the reasons I was going. Like there were people who were just like fucking pissed off about that, and they will be too when New York Comic Con fucking happens and Gail Simone doesn't go, because why the fuck would Gail Simone want to go to New York Comic Con this year? People are going to be like, "Oh, you're one of the reasons I was going to go, and I want you to sign stuff." And why aren't you fucking going? And it's just like, don't, like, no. You know, there were some people that were like, "Oh, I really thought we were going to do San Diego Comic Con." It's like, I don't know. Asma says, "Yeah, we were dying over here." Yeah, I mean, just like there were people who, you know, and then eventually they cancel Emerald City, and it's like it's not like all those people who were mad at artists for not going to for just making the choice before it was canceled to not go were like, hey, I guess you made the right choice. Sorry, I was an asshole. It's like no one was like that because that would require some sort of introspective stuff, and that is not likely. You know, if anything, I'm sure people got the, oh, it's because people like you canceled that they decided they had to cancel it. You know, stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, you know, people have said like, oh, no one would want to take the risk for that, and it's like everybody wants to do that because uh, every convention wonders if the last one was their last one ever. So every convention that is scheduled for this year is going to want to happen. You know, they haven't announced tickets for sale for PAX West. You better bet your fucking ass that Reed wants PAX West to happen this year. In my defense, I was in my car just driving a bit. Yeah, I understand. Uh, yeah, no, Asmo, people are going to be out and about. But yeah, I mean, that Reed wants PAX West to happen. Maybe Penny Arcade. I don't know what Penny Arcade wants. I don't know those dudes. One of them has me blocked on Twitter, so I can't know his thoughts. The other one hasn't said anything. Um, but I don't know how they feel about it. Um, but I do know that Reed wants PAX West to happen. As I said, they haven't announced all that. Blah blah blah. I was about to say there's only like a 10% chance I show up at PAX West, and it's practically fucking next door to me. Yeah. At this point, if PAX East 2021 happens, I'm not sure if I'll go. Harold, and I understand. That being said, in December of this year, I might go to PAX Unplugged because it's a quiet, small, comparatively small convention. Should I do that? Absolutely not. I should absolutely not go to PAX Unplugged. But I might. I will definitely have to consider. I'll say this. They, astrology. They Reed is in charge of the day-to-day stuff. Ryan Hartman is a Penny Arcade employee who is in charge of PAXs. So he's a Penny Arcade employee that works with Reed, and most of the other people that run PAX are Reed people. But the hosts of PAX are the Penny Arcade dudes. And certainly, if they were like, we're not going, you know, the convention they would have to figure some shit out if like the hosts of it weren't gonna go. Uh, the faces of it, even if they're not, you know, they're not sitting in board meetings about this shit. All right, so that goes to that, goes like that. That's that. We need A18 and A20. But yeah, I mean, like, uh, they definitely, in my opinion, PAX West shouldn't happen. I don't think PAX Unplugged should happen. It depends. But if Pennsylvania is like, you don't have to stay at home if you don't want to, and you know we can do conventions again. I don't know. We're going to move on to a different topic in a minute, but I am going to say this, and this is morbid, and I am sorry, which is why we're going to move on to a different topic in a moment. Um, every governor, every state is reading the numbers coming is going to be looking at the numbers in the next 2 weeks coming out of Georgia, because uh, they're going to be looking to see some of them are looking to see how they're doing from a sense of obligation and a sense of we want to we want to track things, we want to compare and contrast, and some of them are going to be looking to see, can we reopen based on how Georgia's doing with the fact that bars and restaurants and clubs are closing, but hairdressers can be open and stuff like that. So people are going to start looking at that and making judgment calls. Uh, and for better or worse, that is a reality. Is that they are going to be, as one of the states that is relaxing a lot of things. They are the guinea pigs for a lot of other places. Uh, ugh. All right. So, on that morbid note, with my apologies, I am going to. We are going to take a pause for the cause, and I will stop talking about that uh, in order to talk about ways you can support the channel if you are so inclined. We're going to put some things there. First and foremost, hey, are you a subscriber? If you are, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Scythe emote. This is a hard pivot, but it's 10 p.m., so let's take a pause to the cause and talk about anime, because that's something. Uh, if you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Feel free to do that now. Let the people know. You can be a subscriber with Cash Money. You could be a subscriber by using your Twitch Prime coin, because you have your Amazon linked with your Twitch. You could do that if you wanted to. You're under no obligation to do that. Solf is here. Hi, Solf. You could gift a sub. You could be like Dirty and gift a sub. You could be like Harold and do bits and coins. And Jacob. Bits and coins are always appreciated. You are under no obligation to do any sort of support. Hey, hit the follow button. If you just follow my tweets to the stream, hit the follow button. Turn your notifications on so you know when I go live, so that way you can watch the streams with everybody else, and that's the fun way to watch the streams. I do this Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. I build. Aki's here. Hello. Um, but and then once a week on a Wednesday, I do a bonus stream. This coming Wednesday's bonus stream is a Hearthstone stream. I'm going to look at my results right now. I'm running a poll for my $3, my $5, and my $10 patrons on Patreon, because I also have a Patreon, and you could join that if you're so inclined. But usually about once a month, I let my patrons decide a game I'm going to play on one of my bonus streams. In this case, it's actually deciding how I play Hearthstone on this coming Wednesday starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. I put a poll up for either ranked wild, trying to climb the ladder in ranked using my a deck that I really enjoy using, which is my pure evolved deck, or my Galacrown evolved deck. I don't know, I can use either, but my evolved decks. Ranked standard, using my standard. I've got a net deck that is a warlock, a Galacrown warlock, with some dragon synergy that is not necessarily fun to play. And then also arena. And right now, ranked and arena are tied. And I'll say this: I've played maybe 6 games of arena in my life. But I'll play arena on stream if people want me to. So that people are voting right now. We'll see by Wednesday how that goes. That's my my $3, $5, and $10 patrons have voted on how they'd like to see me, what they'd like to see me do. And if it's a tie, if it is 2 to, it's right now it's 2-2. With more people, I'm sure, voting soon. If it becomes a tie, I'll do both, I guess. I don't know. So that's the thing. We're going to go quickly through the ways you can, support the stream if you like, and then we'll get back to building. If you're new to the stream, this is the pause for the cause. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, all these links that I'm putting in chat right now, you can't see them, but you can see them in the show description because you can't see chat on YouTube because I don't record the chat. Uh, I have donation pages, and donations will allow you, if you'd like to support the stream through Coffee, Streamlabs, and PayPal. And if you do it through Streamlabs, it'll appear on the stream here because my overlay is from Streamlabs. And if not, then I just get that money and I use that to buy model kits. I'm going to promote it right now. USA Gundam Store. Lashbrook bought me a gift card from USA Gundam Store. They are shipping. They're a family-run business out of Florida, and they are still shipping product. I received 2 different orders from them since this all started. And it takes a little longer than normal, but it's still coming. So you go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card, and then DM me on Twitter, or send me a whisper here on Twitch if you wanted to, and buy a gift card there. You don't have to, but you could, and I'll buy something with that, like I did this beautiful kit that we'll be building next. This is the next thing we're going to be building on stream, and that came because Lashbrook gave me a gift card, and I used all that gift card plus a little other money from other things to buy that kit, which rules. I also have an Amazon wish list. And, if you don't want to use Amazon, right? I'm excited to build that kit. If you wanted to buy something off my Amazon wish list, I got a link here. It says when the shipping is going to happen. Right now, a lot of stuff is, in short supply, especially Lego stuff. Some things are unavailable right now. And maybe they'll come back. Some things are on sale. Some things don't have a Prime shipping it right now. But if you want to buy something from that, it would come, and I'll build it on stream. And I'm going to keep a lot of the stuff that's not available right now up, just because it may become available again in the future. So my wish list feels a little bare right now, especially the stuff that was coming overseas that now is not. But yeah, I have 2 options there, and those are ways. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord if you wanted to. I post photos of every build stream I do. Other folks post things they're working on, which is cool of them to do. I've got a couple links. Last Thursday. Last Thursday, I was on a podcast called the Must Have Seen TV Podcast. It's a podcast where we watch where Brett White from Decider watches an episode of a sitcom from generally the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and has guests on that also watch that episode. We talk about that episode. We talked about a wild episode of Saved by the Bell, which was fun to do. Baering the List. I have a new one every Wednesday. Last week was I ranked all the characters in the anime New Game, which was fun to do. And Baer's Anime Club. One of the shows I talked about in the last episode, because I do it every other Monday. So last Monday's episode, a week ago, I put out an episode talking about the 4 shows I'm most excited about this season. I had some doubts about one show, it turned out to be unfounded. That's going on hiatus. I had some doubts on another show, which turned out to be founded. That's also going on hiatus. But 2 other shows I like aren't on hiatus, so hopefully you can still watch them. I don't know. Next Monday, I'll put a new episode of that out, and next Monday's episode is going to be about shows to binge watch. And it'll be different categories. I'm going to do like, if you need a slice of life, here's some slice of life to watch. And then I'm going to do a category of like 100 plus episodes. Here are shows with 100 plus episodes that you could watch. And that'll be, look, most 100 plus episodes are shonen or sports. There are some long running dramas out there, but there's not a lot of them. So that'll be the next thing I do is that, which I'm excited to do that video next week. But I'll give you the preview. Next Monday's video would be about shit like, because like people are running out of stuff to watch, and I'm getting recommendations of like, hey, have you ever seen this show? Hey, what do you know about this thing? So it's kind of been fun to be able to tell people like, uh, I'm doing the Great Dragon Ball rewatch, or hey, I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho for the first time. When does it get good? And it's like, well, it is good. If you're asking when is he no longer a ghost, I'll let you know how many episodes you got to watch before he's not a fucking ghost. Uh, Man, if they ever remade that show, they would cut down that shit so fast. There's a lot of episodes of him just like being a ghost that would definitely not make it into the modern anime version. All right, we're already talking about it, so let's talk about anime. We're back to building. We're chatting. We're going to talk about the shows that I watched. Um, Before I even begin, I have now officially cut my second show of the season. The second show that I am just not interested in watching anymore. And that show is Princess Connect Redive. Uh, a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I like how it's focusing on the other characters and the main character doesn't really matter because he doesn't remember anything." And I'm like, "I don't like that. He's the main character. If he if you if he should be important. Because even in shows where like show like ReZero, right? ReZero, he's like a weakling in an alternate world, and he can't really do anything. But he's still the main character. He's still the thrust of the story. In Princess Connect, the main character has amnesia, and not just I don't have memories amnesia. It's I'm a blank slate amnesia, and it's just not enjoyable to watch. And I was like, I'm gonna get this couple episodes because like they're gonna get into this food thing because essentially the video game is like an action game about collecting food. So I'm like, well, eventually they're gonna have to like do the food part of the show. And no, I just stopped watching it and I'm just like, I'm done. So I'm done with that show. Um, the other ones I like, Shachibato was a fun episode. Not a lot happened in this episode. This was the conclusion of uh, their attempt to get some money by doing this task and challenge. And the challenge was like management themed, which was kind of interesting because the game. Look, a lot of anime this season is based on mobile games that are very popular in Japan. This one, It's Time for Battle, apparently is a strategy game where you like hire people from your venturing company and send them out on quests. So the idea of a management themed episode or dungeon is kind of interesting. So they did that. I think that was fun. We did learn our president here maybe is special in a different way. Maybe has some secrets that he hasn't revealed yet, which is fine because uh, almost everyone else on the show has a big secret, it looks like. Because the healer guy has some sort of animal living in his bag, and that's played for laughs. And then their accountant used to be an adventurer, but isn't the fighter in the group, but is clearly unbelievably strong. And that's definitely played for laughs. So there's some secrets going on in the show. It's not my favorite show of the season by any means, but it's the only thing I watch on Sundays. Uh, and it's pretty good, I would say. If you had only room for a few shows this season, right? If you were like, look, I just don't have a lot of time for anime right now. I would say it's not a show that you've got to see. It should not be a priority. But if you're like me and you're like, I like watching anime every day, then check it out. Also, I've said this on Twitter. The president of the company, uh, he's got his like work casual suit going, but he also has long hair and a ponytail that he has tied up with a yellow ribbon, which is, I would say, very unusual for the main character of a fantasy show. Uh, he just, and my assumption is that it is to make him seem uh, less powerful and unassuming. Uh, that he has this kind of feminine side to him. Uh, but it is still an interesting choice as far as your main character. I don't know. I like it. I like it. Uh, I still think it's a cool choice. Let's see. What else? What else? Okay. Shironeko Project Zero Chronicle. This is another anime that is based on a popular video game. Now, this popular video game is the prequel to that popular video game. So this happened before it. So I don't know if the cat thing is supposed to be. Look, the name is Shironeko. Neko is cat, right? There are no cats in this show. Now, I'm sure it's a metaphor, like two cats or whatever. They say something in like the prologue. Two cats, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see any cats. What I do see is we get a flashback from the queen of the people that live in the skies, the Kingdom of Light. We get a shot of some stuff of the current queen when she was a candidate to become the new queen, because it's not who like what house you're born in. It's not about blood. It is about like candidates that are tested and win. That is in the case of the Kingdom of Light and also the Kingdom of Darkness. Now, I should say the Kingdom of Darkness does not necessarily have to be evil. Is a thing that is clear in the show. Is the current King of Darkness is an asshole, but that is not necessarily how his successor, the person that wants to become the next king, is like, I would love it if monsters didn't attack all these villages. It would be cool if that was the case. I'm going to change this kingdom. Also, hey, guess what? They're going to be star-crossed lovers. The queen and the prince, they're meeting next episode. Are they going to kiss? I don't know. I don't think they're going to kiss next episode. Are they going to have shared goals and some sort of connection and camaraderie that doesn't sit well with other people? Assuredly, including the captain of the knights for the queen, who is definitely in love with her, because we found that out. Because of course he is. So he's not going to like the idea that the number one prince candidate for the next king of darkness, king of destruction, is clearly in love with her as well. That's not going to go great. Also, why would it go great? Again, I think the opening song. I'm really pale in this, so we'll just see if we can get that fixed there. I think the opening song in this show is great. It is not. It's not a groundbreaking show. I don't think it's doing anything particularly awesome. I do like. I think I like the dark story better than the light story, because the dark story is like trying to overcome things, and so far I don't really care so much about this princess queen character that much as I like the dude who is, kind of naively trying to rise through the ranks to change his world. And like, he didn't kill the guy that's the number two candidate. So now the number two candidate is probably going to support him and be his bro. That's kind of fun. I don't know. It's not exciting. It's kind of interesting. I'm I'm interested to see where it goes more than anything else. So we'll see. I will keep reporting on that show. I did like that the action scenes that took place in this episode did not have any bad looking CG, which is that's just a miracle for some of these shows that are not super high budget. Uh, Woodpuck, Woodpecker Detective's Office is a weird show, man. We're only in episode 2. They're trying to solve murders, kind of. So, okay, what do I say about the show? I knew that this show was based on a novel about a poet and some of his friends, a linguistics teacher, and some other people who started a detective agency in the Meiji era. So they're like trying to solve mysteries and the like and murders and all kinds of things, and they're a detective agency, Woodpecker Detective's Office, uh, to make money because they can't really make money any other way because they're poets. Here's the thing I didn't know about this show because I hadn't just it hadn't occurred to me to look it up. Um, it's based on a real dude. All of the characters in this show are real poets from that era and real people. Now this is not historical fiction. This is just straight up fiction. It's complete and utter fiction, but they're real people that existed, and it's like a what if. Like, what if this poet was solving murders? And I guess the novel is that this is based on is one big murder, like this one big mystery they solve, and this is like a bunch of smaller things, and then maybe they'll start selling or solving that. Uh, and it makes me feel a little bit better that the show started with saying that a character like had died, like the main guy had died, because he's based on a real person that died of tuberculosis. So one would assume that like one obviously not obviously, but like oh he died in the show. Okay. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Uh, I think it's interesting. Um, my assumption is that now that I know he's a real person, my original assumption that this show was going to be pretty damn gay uh, is less likely. I think now that I know that it's based on a real dude, it might not be as gay as I originally thought it was going to be, which is, to be clear, a shame because it seemed very homoerotic, if not just straight up gay. Um, but I feel like it'll probably be less like that since it's based on a real person. But who knows? I don't know. I am fairly interested in Woodpecker Detectives Agency. Uh, I said it wrong. I try to say the name right. It's not a great name for me. I don't know if it's just not a great name in general, but it doesn't feel like a good name for me to say. Woodpecker Detectives Office is the name of the show. Woodpecker Detectives Office. That's the name of the show. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is a new show debuted today. It's on Crunchyroll. It's only 5 minutes, and it's fucking weird. Is it Dino and Gallon Dino weird? No, no, because this show is definitely more of a comedy, whereas Gallon Dino is funny, but is trying to be more weird than funny. This is trying to be very funny. So the premise is an unknown dude in ancient Greece, and all of this is told in claymation. Um, is it is a 5 minute episode. It's a 5 minute series. Uh, he is suddenly transported into modern day Tokyo, Now, the past stuff is, and the idea was that like he's a really strong, incredible athlete, but he doesn't want to join uh, uh, the Olympics. We don't know why. He just doesn't want to do it. He wants to make art. He's not great at doing art. A dolphin is better than him. Is a line in it. It's a very weird thing. So all of the stuff in ancient Greece is done in claymation. It's all claymation. It looks actually real claymation, and it looks cool and good. A lot of it reminds me of it's a very British looking art style. So some of the claymation definitely reminds me of the British claymation stop motion style. Uh, so it's got that Wallace and Gromit kind of vibe to it. It also has that like Life of Brian. Um, uh, there was a thing where you were like making rocks and knocking things over. A video game a couple years ago that had this style, this kind of like British uh, kind of Monty Python animation when they had animated stuff style. I don't know what the proper name for it. I can't describe it properly. You know it when you see it. It looks different. It's got a different cool vibe to it. Well, in the very end of the episode, he does get transported to modern day Japan, and everything else is done in this stop motion looking animated style. But now our main dude is he looks like a bust. He looks like he's made out of clay or marble, I should say. It looks like a marble statue because he's an old guy, I guess. I'm gonna give it another episode or two. I don't know what the fuck is happening. It is very weird, and I'm into it. I'm up for a short show. I like a good short anime show. I love that Sunday nights in Japan are, or sorry, Monday nights in Japan are short episode nights. It's the afternoon. We get the weird afternoon episodes. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm doing it justice. That shit is wild. It is weird and wild. Um, Rock of Ages, yes, that's what I was thinking of. Astrology. The Rock of Ages is that style. It reminds me of that kind of style. This like animated to look like claymation, but not like Gallon Dino's claymation, which is CG to look like claymation. This is a different vibe, and I don't know why any of it is happening. I do know that I like it. I like it a lot, uh, and I love that he looks like a statue. Also, the closing song is claymation, but with a human mouth moving for the character who's singing, uh, and that is terrifying. Arc of Ages is the game that has the Monty Python art style. Yes, solved. So that's what I'm saying. Like this, that British style, which is in Monty Python and a bunch of other things, that is the art style for the Japan stuff. Um, and that is the closest thing I can say. So it also just, like it looks different than any other show that's out this season, with the exception of Gallon Dino, which also like has a weird art style to it. Um, uh, but that's definitely all computer done on a computer. Whereas this, I don't know. Yeah, it's got that like, I don't know, it's got an odd sensibility. I'm interested to see where the show goes. I don't know where it goes. I don't know what it's going to be. But Extra Olympia, Kyklos is an odd show. And I will be interested to see the next episode and what happens in it. What is this thing? I don't know. I'm interested, and that's what I'm watching right now. Those are the shows. As I said, I dropped a show. Is it a rough time to drop a show when shows that I do want to watch are on hiatus? Yeah, certainly. Um, and it will be interesting to see like Maybe I'll watch that Millionaire show, the Millionaire Detective, the basically like uh, what if Bruce Wayne became a cop instead of Batman, uh, which is what I've been told that show is like. But I know someone who likes it, so maybe I'll check that out, even though it's going on hiatus. But maybe I'll still want to see what's up with that. I think that's the only show I haven't watched any of that I might check out. Maybe I'll go back and give Listeners another try. I think Listeners was a show that I was gonna maybe watch when it was over, so I could kind of like fast forward through it because it was just like didn't get what was going on and what didn't really care. But maybe I'll watch that. I don't know. Still have a lot of shows. Even if both of my Friday shows are on hiatus, my Saturday shows right now, Gal and Dino, My Next Life is a Villainous, Kaguya-sama, and Descendants of Bookworm. None of them have said they have delays. Uh, and only Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater has announced delays for the 5 shows that I watch on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Uh, Harold says Heather from Loading Ready Run was talking about Listeners on her stream last night. She likes it. Yeah, my friend Ethan, who I talk about with anime a lot, he's like my friend in comedy that watches a lot of the. He and his girlfriend watch a lot of the stuff that I talk about, and like asks me recommendations and talks about stuff. We don't have the same sense of humor because or same interest in all the shows that we watch because like yeah, he was saying listeners is just really slow but are statically very pleasing, and I was like, yeah, that's why I think I would want to fast forward through it because I don't think I'm enjoying it week to week. It just doesn't feel like a week to week show. But I'm glad that Heather's liking it because like you know people are different and we have different opinions on shows, which is great. Um, but yeah, Listeners is one of those shows that like makes up a bunch of words for things that already have words for it, and it's got like this whole like music theme. Like as I said, I think I jokingly said, "Music is a weapon," which is the tagline to Revolution X, the light gun game starring or featuring Aerosmith. But it's true. That is kind of what the show is what the show's going for. Uh, but yeah, I'm glad she's enjoying it. I know that like, you know, I talk about shows that I'm watching on the stream, right? And I might be the only person watching Eight Sun because a lot of people are just like the very idea of it has to be a weird isekai for them to watch, right? Like they'll watch Slime, they're gonna watch the Spider one. Um, they might even like Ascendance of Bookworm, but they're not gonna watch Eight Sun, which is just a traditional isekai. It's a little funnier than some of the other ones, but it's still at its core a traditional isekai. So like modern isekai. So they're not gonna watch it, and I get that. Friends of mine are watching Arte, about which is like I think it's an Industrial Revolution era show about a girl that really wants to get in art, and that's just not a thing women get to do. I don't. I There's nothing about that appeals to me. There's nothing about reading the synopsis. I was just like, that is just not a show that I have any interest in watching. I hope it's great, and I hope the people that are watching it are loving that shit. But I was just like, yeah, I don't know. There's a show about a school for aspiring idols. I'm just like, nope, that ain't that ain't my thing. Just not something I'm gonna watch. And it's a nice thing about anime. There's a lot of it. And if there's something you like out there, you can watch that thing that you like because it's out there. Like I said, there's a slice of life about fishing. Finally, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's just like, an anime about fishing. Oh, I can't. Oh, cool. And they're like, oh, it's a slice of life. But, like, whatever. It's about the thing I like. So I can watch an anime about the thing I like. Hell yeah. I'm psyched about that shit. I didn't watch any of the basketball anime that came out about the short guy that that has to like start a base or no, a basketball team. I like that. This basketball anime about a baseball team. No, this basketball anime. I didn't watch a lick of that show, but like I know a friend of mine was like, "This is my favorite show this season." It's like this is everything I wanted. Oh, I'm so psyched I have this show. It's like hell yeah. Um, I started watching Love Is War today and almost gave up the second episode. All the fourth dimensional chess at the time was too much. I'm glad that the next few episodes chilled out. Yeah, so, Lashbrook. That is, look, the mind games are a big part of the show. I'm not going to say they aren't. I will say Chica accident generally almost exclusively because I do not believe that she is a mastermind. If she is a mastermind, they are keeping that close to their chest. But her inadvertent stumbling and forcing things to heighten or change or undoing things grounds that show so well. Because it is still a very nonsense, high energy show. And like, I'm saying this from a person, like, I think y'all know, uh, I do not enjoy I don't enjoy tsundere characters. And for those not in the know on that, that just means characters that the childish thing of I like you so much, but I don't. You can't know I like you, so I'm going to be mean to you. That is a archetype in anime. Uh, and the more like in some shows, like they play with it and it's there and it's just an archetype and it's whatever, and I can kind of ignore it. Some shows it is the whole thing and it's too much and I hate it, and it's just like, well, I'm never gonna like this character because I can't like this, like what's happening in the show because of this. In this one, they're not they're aware of their feelings, but they are trying to entrap each other in admitting their own feelings in order to win the game, the war of that is love. And it heightens so far and so much that it is comical how much it heightens in a way that I enjoy. Also, there's weird sound things in it. Season 2, the first episode of Season 2, has a sound alike of an acoustic version of Madonna's Vogue. The second episode, the background music in one episode, was clearly an homage slash cover of You Spin Me Round. There's no good reason for any of the sound cues that are in this show other than somebody was like, oh, and also the opening theme in both seasons sounds like a Tom Jones song. And that is never explained. None of it is explained. None of the song choices make any sense. It's just a thing that happens, and it is weird, but I do love it. Love is War is a fun show. The second season is now currently only on Funimation. The first season is available on Crunchyroll and Funimation. But yeah, they got the exclusive to the second season, which is great because if you look at the comments on the first two episodes of the second season, all you see is people who are mad that they have to watch it on Funimation because they don't, or that they have to watch it a week late because of that, or mad because they don't like the player, which I sympathize with and agree with. The Funimation player for PC in or the browser-based version is not great. It's not a great player. Uh, so I do sympathize with people that are bummed, but I also totally understand that if I'm sure Crunchyroll wanted it It's just a matter of did they prioritize it over other things and the other things they're doing? Did it make sense from this, and this? All those different conversations they must have had. But it does feel like Crunchyroll. I mean, the real loser in all of this is Hulu, because I can't imagine I'm alone in leaving Hulu for Funimation, because they just did not get things. They just did not get shows. It used to, like they got a few, but used to be Hulu would get just about everything that Funimation got. And this time around, that is not the case. There is a bunch of stuff that Hulu did not get. But I don't know. It is what it is. We'll figure it all out and watch some fine anime products. I'm gonna keep building this other shoulder. But yeah, if there's stuff you're watching, especially if it's stuff that I'm not checking out, like by now people kind of know what I'm into. Uh, but yeah, if you got a show that you're like, this is what I'm watching, let me know. I certainly like to, especially with some shows going on a break. I might have to watch some stuff. Well, as I said, we're going to find out day to day. I feel like a lot of shows aren't going to announce that they're on hiatus until, like someone said, like, hey, after this episode, we're taking a break. Other studios have not said that. They just may not put out a new episode. That's the other thing. Sometimes they just don't announce it. They just, the day of, they're like, actually, there's not an episode coming out today. So I think a lot of it's going to be me, like, tuning in when I normally watch a show, not seeing it, and then having to Google it to be like, is, is what happened to episode whatever of the show that I'm watching, and then find out, oh, it's on hiatus. I mean, we're not at the point as we were at the end of last season where I was just hitting the random button on Crunchyroll because there were so few things for me to talk about because everything had wrapped up and new stuff hadn't started. I mean, I'll bring that back if I gotta. It wasn't a bad way to do things. I kind of liked it, but it wasn't necessarily what I was expecting to do. I want to catch up more of old Sentai. Oh yeah, okay. Looking to pick up some Sentai action, huh? All right. Hell yeah. Uh, well, I don't talk about this that often because it's not like now this is only available for folks in the United States and Canada, I believe. I believe other countries can't watch the streams on this channel. But Shout Factory has a Twitch. And you can just watch a bunch of shit. Now, yes, is the Shout Factory great for watching if you're like, I really want to watch uh, old Mystery Science Theater 3000 episodes? Of course it's good for that. But it's also good for a lot of other stuff, like old Sentai, uh, and random ass like game shows that are about video games and like all kinds of other weird shit. Um, and it's a 24-hour channel, so it always has stuff going on. Shout Factory that they kind of made their claim to fame was doing like box set stuff, like kind of like Rhino, like repackaging old shows that hadn't had a release and get it and doing the rights to it and doing that. And now they still do that kind of stuff, but they do a bunch of other things, including having Chef Factory has a Twitch channel, and they're one of the few channels they also allow um, folks to, if they want, they can uh, stream their stuff and kind of talk over it. So we did that as a test last year before the Anime Awards. We tested because I wanted to kind of do the whole like, hey, can I like talk over stuff? Uh, I will say this: I have been thinking about uh, um, he doesn't even tweet about it. But Pizza Suplex, uh, Mr. Pat Gill from Polygon does a thing where he watches old wrestling. Um, and it's all stuff on YouTube that hasn't been copyright claimed. And I don't think he archives any of it. And I don't know how he's still doing it, but his channel has not been shut down yet. I think it's maybe because he doesn't promote it. But he does still do it. And usually it's like on a Sunday afternoon. And that's a good time. His chat is really nice. He's got a good supportive little chat there. So I would recommend checking that out if that's something you're interested in. His take on some old wrestling action. Um, but I have thought about maybe doing one of those because I've done the commentary over video game wrestling, but I was like, oh, maybe I could make a playlist of some stuff that is so old that the Twitch algorithm isn't going to catch on, and like do an overlay for the standard non-widescreen standard def stuff. Do something like that. I'm like been thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to, but I've been thinking about it. It's on my list of things that I could do. Um, Especially because so this Wednesday, as I said, I'm doing my Hearthstone stream where I'll at this point either be playing Wild Ladder, um, or I will be doing um, Arena, or both. That's where we're looking at right now. But next Wednesday, I'm gonna hopefully be able to do my another Smack Talk Showdown stream because I had so much fun the first time, and then I tried to do the second one, and a bunch of people like got stuff came up, or they just had to reschedule, or they're just not in the right mindset to do a stream, and I had some yeses, and then I just ended up with a bunch of no's on like right before, so I ended up not doing it, which is fine. It is fine. It was a bummer because I want to do it, but it's understandable. People giving up time to do this thing and perform. But I'm hopefully going to be able to do it next Wednesday. So I got to start sending emails out about that and get the word out and try to get some confirms going for that. So do it because it was so much fun the first time we did it. Let's try to get a bunch of people together and have a good time. Get some comedy friends and some video game friends. Just do some silliness and some whatevs. Oh, I am feeling like so full of salt, y'all. Those nuggets. Like I'm not gonna say that they were a mistake, but I will say that I am feeling it. I am feeling the heft of it, the weight of it. It was. I made a choice, and I am now, you know, ugh. I think in like 2 hours, I'm just gonna eat a big salad. I think that is a thing that my body does sometimes when I've really pigged out, is I start craving vegetables. So I'll probably do that. Just get a bunch of vegetables in my system. Relax that way a bit. That'll be good. But yeah, then my next stream will be on Wednesday. It'll be my Hearthstone stream. Then Thursday we will continue on with this kit, which I'm excited to do. Obviously, it's been very fun. We still have to. We're working on the feet right now, and then we'll build the legs. We'll build the waist last because this is a high grade, and generally that's what you end up doing is you build the waist last, and then we will work on the tail and the weapons. Yeah, it's coming along. We might finish up on Thursday. We might finish up on Saturday and start the next thing. As I said, the Diamese is the next Dynamis is the next thing on the docket. Good night, Harold. Happy to have you here. Have a great one. Um, is the next thing that I get. But I do know that something is coming from my wish list. Somebody picked up a kit. The Justice Gundam got picked up. And if that arrives, then my $10 patrons, which is what I do for the $10, they vote on what I build. That's why we're working on that won the poll. So I'll put the poll out to them and see. But I always try to do wish list stuff first, and then I'll do stuff from my own backlog. And my own backlog right now, pretty great. Between like the Easy 8, I got a bunch of stuff here. We still have this super deformed that transforms into a dragon. We got this thing with its lovely orange color. That's just a good time. The Easy 8. We got the crossbone. As I said, which probably next. We got this friend. I forgot to say how to say his name. Coming in the mail by the end of this week. I bought it myself though. We got the monster truck, the Lego Burger monster truck. So I know as soon as it's my time to put up stuff from my own backlog, as soon as I put that for the $10 patrons, I have a feeling that the Burger monster truck is going to win that poll. I want to build it. And it's a 3-in-1. Which the best part of Lego 3-in-1s for me, maybe not necessarily for all y'all, but for me, it means that I have to put it together, take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together. So for a streaming perspective, it's awesome. It's a lot of content for one Lego set, which is fucking rad. And it does mean that I will build the smaller other ones first and end with the monster truck, because you end with the best one, which is a burger truck. That is a monster truck, because that don't make no sense, and therefore is fucking awesome. All right, so put this there, put that there. We're going to go another minute or two. I'm going to finish up these legs, and then I will find a stream that we will raid, because that is what we do here on the Build with Baer workshop, is at the end of every stream, we go and raid someone else. Sometimes they are people that have, a few more viewers than we would have, or around the same, or an exceptional amount of viewers, doing fun, weird things, or doing cool things. I think it was an odd time to raid Kate. On Saturday, we raided Kate Stark, and I think that was an odd time because she was doing her let's look at houses we could never afford to live in and judge them, which was an odd stream, but still a fun one. I was still happy to go and visit with her. But I personally like that more than watching her play Call of Duty Wargrounds or whatever, Battlegrounds, because I just don't particularly enjoy watching that game. But that's me. Everybody's got their thing. They got their thing they like, things they don't like, things they like watching, things they don't like watching. We're all different. Put this in there, and then this goes like that, and that is our leg. There's our foot. Got a foot done, and then we're going to do the other foot, which is the same thing. Make sure I'm lining this up right. This goes like this. And this goes like that. And then a foot is done. All right. It's a robot and it has feet. Yes. And that is where we're leaving off this kit for today. Upper body done, feet done. And now I'm going to mute my audio. Or not my mic, but my or the audio, so that way I can go and see my list of people that are streaming right now to find someone for us to raid. Then mute myself. Let's see. Kish is just. Oh yeah, we don't want to do that. Mary Kish rules, but Mary Kish is doing a watching party where everyone is watching on Netflix National Treasure, and so we're not going to go raid. I will say that Mary Kish rules, but I don't know how long she's been streaming, and so that doesn't make any sense to raid. So we're gonna raid. We talked about it tonight. We're gonna raid Heather from Loading Ready Run, who is Lunar Jade, is her username, and we're gonna raid her because she's doing tasks in Animal Crossing, and Animal Crossing is chill. So maybe you can end your night, or the early parts of your night with that. But we're gonna go and raid that. Thanks so much for watching. As I said, I'm doing a Hearthstone stream this coming Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. But then Thursday, we're back to building again, so come back for that. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to join us for the raid, that rules, please do. It's going to be fun. If you don't feel like joining us for the raid, I get it and I understand. But also, have a great night. And I hope you have a pleasant evening, and I'll see you on the next Build with Baer. Bye-bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.